Have you been advised by your friends and family that you should be over the narcissistic relationship already? Do they ask you questions like, what is there to grieve? After all, there wasn't a loss. It wasn't a loss. You gained a lot. You saved yourself. You should be celebrating. Why are you wasting your time on something that destroyed you? Come on, move on and let go and forget. If you are experiencing this and if you are being asked these questions, then you may be experiencing disenfranchised grief. Hi, I am Danish, a narcissistic abuse recovery professional, and today in this episode, I'll be talking about what is disenfranchised grief, how it happens, and how it keeps you stuck in your healing journey. If you are not subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, make sure that you press that subscribe button and push that bell icon so that you stay updated with everything that I post on my channel. In a narcissistic relationship, the losses that you experience are countless. I do not have enough words to list them, but I'll try. There is this loss of love, loss of care, loss of affection, loss of health, loss of memory, loss of esteem, loss of worthiness, loss of love, loss of being seen as a partner, loss of the illusion that they created in the beginning, loss of the future that was promised, loss of a partner that was never there, and so on. The losses are so many that I cannot count them maybe in this video. But what tends to happen is that when you leave such a relationship, the society expect you to be over it already. They expect you to get over it within a couple of days or a month, then be ready for the new relationship and be ready for your new life, which rarely happens. So, disenfranchised grief is described as a form of grief which is not recognized by the society. It is not recognized as a loss, like losing someone dying, losing a job. They consider that whatever you have been through, you should be over it already because it wasn't a loss. Therefore, you do not deserve to be sad on it. And as the victims of narcissistic abuse experience this invalidation from the society, even from the close family members, it isolates them further and they experience disenfranchised grief. Disenfranchised grief is something that that remains confined to the victim, to the survivor only, and it is not given its due recognition, which keeps the survivor stuck in their healing journey. And then starts this self-induced gaslighting, meaning the survivor starts to invalidate his or her own pain because the society is pushing them to do so. They ask themselves the questions like, do I deserve to grieve this? Or maybe it's not a big deal. Why am I wasting my time when I'm thinking about them? I should be forgetting them already. I should be over it already. There is nothing that was lost. But deep down, they know that a part of them is missing. A part of them is gone. A part of them is no more there. They deeply feel broken, but they suppress it. Which is why it is extremely important to understand that your pain is valid, that you have experienced heavy losses in such a relationship, that the society is invalidating and not recognizing your grief, but that doesn't mean you would do the same to yourself. You need to recognize your grief. You need to understand that the losses that you have experienced were a lot, are countless, and are as important as any other loss. You have experienced the worst form of trauma ever known to mankind. And this is what I personally believe. So, this is something that you need to do from this point. If your grief is not being recognized and is not being seen as a loss and you are being pushed, the first thing that you need to do is to stop pushing yourself. If you do not feel ready for a new relationship, for a new job, for a new situation, for a new life, then do not push yourself. because the more you would do it, the bigger the troubles would be in new relationships, in new situations. And what you need to do instead is hold the space for that grief, that isolated grief, and validate it through your own validation. And then, if you find someone like a coach or a therapist who really understands what you have been through, sit with them and work through this grief so that you can process it. Because it is as important to process it as it is for any other type or kind of grief. I hope today I was able to help you understand what disenfranchised grief is. I'll talk with you very soon. Till then, let the healing begin.